We are live. We are live. This is another live stream. This is the Wrestling for Life Network. Tonight, we have TNA Impact on the card. We got a lot going down. This is the road to Slamversary, their next big show that's coming up in July. I think it's around July 20th. I am not here alone, but tonight is going to be a good stream. I'm excited for it. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? This is the Wrestling for Life Network. As I said earlier, this is a TNA Impact live stream. A lot going down tonight. A lot we have to talk about and explain over the next couple of days with TNA. But I am not here alone. I got a partner in crime. That is Big Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its tag stream champions of the world, the man who puts the T in TNA, Ringsider Anthony. I am Big Nick, and yes, we're popping the top off on another episode of Trick NA. And I know we got some news like you were talking to and alluding to, but how do you feel? It's the TNA-versary, my guy.
Yeah, it's 23 years of TNA wrestling as of today, so it's been an outpouring of support from the TNA locker room, from Dixie Carter. I mean, everybody is talking about TNA today because it's the 23rd birthday of TNA wrestling. So this is good. TNA has kicked around for so many years, thoughts of it going out of business, being sold, and TNA is still here through what was it, Global Force Wrestling at one point, through Impact Wrestling. Now back to TNA. They are the company that just sticks around. They can never die.
They are the Harry Potter of wrestling, the company that lived. They've been on, what was it, Destination America. They've been on Pop TV. They've been on Twitch. They were just exclusively on Twitch at one point. Like you said, all the name changes, and have somehow still survived, and at this point are almost thriving. Like you were saying, of big news in TNA and confusing news in TNA.
Yeah, definitely some confusing news. I think it's a lot of the verbiage and what they've been like. The press release was said one thing, and then the tweet said another thing, and people are so confused. So I guess I'm here to break it down a little bit of what's going on over the next like day or so, actually over the next 24 hours with TNA. So there was some big news that came out Tuesday-ish, Wednesday, that TNA is their TNA Plus app is having a free tier. So this free tier starts, I believe it actually starts tomorrow. If not, it has already started. To celebrate the free tier of TNA wrestling, tomorrow TNA is airing next week's episode of TNA live on the TNA Plus app. Now the confusion comes in where on the initial tweet, it was a sneak peek. On the initial press release that's on the TNA website, it says a complete episode of Impact. And from what I have gathered and what I can confirm, because I guess I'm best friends with the president of TNA, he did tweet last night on my tweet saying that it is a live episode of TNA Impact tomorrow at 8 p.m. The reason why it's tomorrow is because they were already scheduled for tapings tomorrow. They were having tapings tomorrow and tapings on Saturday. Those are the tapings that will lead us to Slammiversary. So the only way they could do it is tomorrow because of the tapings. So tomorrow's live episode of TNA Impact will only be live from 8 to 10, and you can't watch it again until the initial airing next Thursday. You'll watch it then again, and then it'll be available on demand on the TNA Plus app. That is the information that I have gathered.
We get a peek into the future on Fridays. So tomorrow when we're here watching SmackDown, we'll also be seeing into the multiverse of madness in TNA, and we'll be seeing the future, the one outcome that will be airing next Thursday. Yeah, they didn't really fully specify what was included in the free tier, because I know you and I both, hashtag not sponsored, have, the subscription and everything with that, because you get the pay-per-views and all that too as well. Right. But is it interesting to you, and hi everyone in the chat, we'll get you in a quick second because I know we got like 10 minutes of that, they having a taped episode, and I know it's just the way it kind of worked out, but a taped episode on their anniversary right before they do a live episode, you know, could you have maybe tried to make this a live thing, and you could air the taped one on the Friday or anything like that?
You know, that's a thought that I didn't even think about. A lot of times with TNA, I love TNA, but sometimes it feels like they do things like at the very, very last minute. It seems like it's kind of rushed. And I think that's kind of where this came out, because if I was booking things or trying to change things around, knowing that today is the 25th anniversary, the 23rd anniversary, I would have probably made this episode the live episode for everyone to see on a Thursday night.
Yeah, that kind of makes the most sense. It's your regular time slot. It's not you're competing against a SmackDown or anything. It's the perfect time to launch that version where everyone might be looking to watch that and everything, versus like we said I said going against SmackDown and all of that. So that's the thing, is it's really cool. It's a really good move for TNA. Definitely having the free version definitely gets some eyes in there that weren't going to be there, aren't going to pay the $9.99, what have you. But it just feels like you got there and you fumbled it at the finish line a little bit, of like, it just kind of came off a little confusing issue. Like, that's the issue. It shouldn't be confusing when we want to be celebrating it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's it's still a bit of confusion too. Like I've seen the chatter on Twitter over the past couple of hours. It's still, a little bit confusing. I think everything when it comes to posting and social media and marketing needs to be consistent. So in the press release, it said a live episode of Impact. The tweet needed to say a live episode of Impact and not a sneak peek, because everybody thought we were only getting a portion of next week's Impact. But from what my understanding is, we're getting the entire show. So yeah, I think just at the finish line, I think it was great. I think it was, a great decision by them. It's just like at the finish line, we needed to tighten up the verbiage just a little bit.
Well, and does it hurt them? And this will be my last question on this. Granted, they are doing also a show on Saturday as well, which is, I guess, going to just be outright taped. But is it hurting them too that this is going to then be next week's episode? So if I watch it on Friday, I don't have to tune in on Thursday at all. I already know TNA for the week. I can zoom past it.
That's really actually a good question. I don't see it really hurting them much. If TNA, and I don't know what is a part of the free tier. I think maybe the weekly episodes may be a part of the free tier. I'm not sure. I need to confirm that. But if TNA is free, the weekly shows are free on the free tier, it might not hurt them, because tomorrow you'll get the Impact faithfuls, the TNA faithfuls, to watch live. Next week, you'll probably get those people that tuned into the free tier, got the free tier, to watch the episode in its regular time slot.
How do you pitch it in case you didn't watch it on Friday, we're going to show it on Thursday?
I mean, that's a good question, because they actually pitch it very well when they do Explosion. They do a segment called In Case You Missed It. And they may show a full match or, a couple of matches from TNA Impact the prior night. So they could run it like that too.
Fair enough. So you want a 2-hour episode of Explosion? I heard. But speaking of people who are noted and will always be on the free tier, folks, trust me. And it's free. It costs you nothing to hit that subscribe. Be a friend. Tell a friend. As I see 50 some odd people watching with us, I got to refresh to see what we're at with the likes. We are at 41. Let's see if we can get 50 and 50 out here. We're out trying to get to 8K and all that. But let's say hi to the peoples. Say hi to the peoples. Zach, what up? What up? Kevin, what up? Eric, hey buddies, and happy birthday, TNA. Yeah, I don't know why this slipped under my radar that it was TNA's birthday. Of 23 feels like a odd anniversary halfway to be celebrating, though, a little bit of it's just we made it another year. It's their, they got the Jordan number.
Yeah, absolutely. Is 23 is not like, something you celebrate. It's not like an anniversary or anything, like 25 or 30 or 40. But I guess in TNA's case, because they went through so many changes over the years, they need to celebrate every year that they can.
Right. Zach saying happy Juneteenth. Absolutely. And I don't know if you saw it, and this is going to be the one thing that we'll just bring it up and we won't talk too much on it, of Brody King's shirt at Grand Slam Mexico. Good on you, lad. Good on you, lad. Yeah, very much so. But if you don't know, you know, now you know. Sean Reed, what is up? Hashtag WFU fan, might miss tonight's show and just want to say Lola Vice has the best assets, peach emoji, in wrestling. Stand by my statement. As a man from the Georgia state, the peach state, can you comment on peaches?
They're good. I guess.
You heard it here first, folks. Answer these statements on peaches. They're good. Damien, happy birthday, TNA, the wrestling god. What's up, Anthony and Big Nick? What up, what up, what up?
What's up?
Dennis, what up? Daniel Berry Sports. Do you see anybody I'm missing, sir?
I don't. I think you might have got everybody.
I got Trey, I got Dakota, I got OG there. What up? Liv Morgan will be out 6 months of shoulder surgery. Yeah, I heard initially 3 to 4. It seems a lot more people are saying 6 months of very much kind of worst case scenario in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate for Liv Morgan, right about to go into, a big match, if you want to call it, for Evolution with Nikki Bella. So it seems like they have to rewrite some things at this point with her being out for 6 months.
And then Roxanne Press can just slide in and play Mr. Studio Man.
That is true.
Absolutely. Well, it's still so interesting, the parallels, the weirdly not planned out parallels of Rhea goes out with a shoulder injury. Liv plays Mr. Studio Man. Liv goes out now with a shoulder injury. Roxanne about to play Mr. Studio Man.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. And you talk about 6 months of Roxanne changing everything. It's going to be wild when Liv Morgan comes back.
Is this almost a blessing and a curse? And I know me being long-winded is probably both of those things too. But that now when Liv comes back, she very much come back as a babyface.
Oh,
if Roxanne comes in, takes over, just completely changes up Judgment Day, be interesting to still see how that shakes out, how the Finn Dom dynamic pans out now. But then when Liv does come back, she comes back as the babyface.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can see that happening. And in another way that it could be a blessing in disguise too. I think Roxanne was going to be used regardless, but this actually puts Roxanne in a bigger spotlight with Liv Morgan not being around. So I think that'd be great for Roxanne as well, for the main roster in her recent debut.
Right. Just got to give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, and y'all in the chat can do just even that emoji, thumbs up, thumbs down, that the tag titles survive Liv Morgan being out. I think it's thumbs down. I think we're MJF is not allowed in the Hurt Syndicate. Thumbs down. Yankees fan. Thumbs down. Don, what up? Hi all. Back from vacation. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you as well, Don. Trey, what up? What up? Brandon, good evening, Wrestling for Life gang. Bradley, what up? Trying to see. Oh, there's your favorite. I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't click on him. Boston, what up? What up? What up? Z-Man Scar, I heard that there was a free tier on TNA Plus, so tonight's episode is free there.
So no, you will still have to subscribe. And I've been trying to find any information of what the free tier will look like, and there's not much out there just yet, other than they're going to have a 24/7 streaming channel. But that hasn't more details about that will come in the coming weeks, apparently. So
doesn't that feel to you a bit like you said of you're kind of tripping over your own 2 feet, of you waited until the last minute of you should have had a rollout, of this is what's included in the free tier. This is what it comes out with this. If you sign up for this, you get this. So if we're going to do, could they do like the network did when it first popped out of we're going to put Slamversary on the free tier, but every other pay-per-view going forward is going to be on the $9.99. It's kind of like when the network first rolled out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was just a missed opportunity where everything wasn't, in a row. All the ducks
Mm-mm.
wasn't in the row, and they just wanted to kind of bring it out there to the fans. I think this next time around, if they roll something like this out, they'll probably have a better executed plan.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I apparently didn't execute my plan of I skipped MDB's comment, but how you doing, sir?
That's fine. We can skip his
Oh,
comments.
he's just already giving you the business here. Anthony, stop playing with my emotions, Smokey. Jerome, what up? As I got the show kicking off,
I don't. I
I
have
have
live
the
events
system
starting.
video package.
Okay, there we go. Now I have the
Yes.
system video package.
Dawn with a thumbs down. Dennis with a thumbs down. Yeah, I worry that women's tag team wrestling as a whole, and TNA is giving me a surprise with bringing back the inspiration. If we were going to get the Bella twins in WWE, would have been interesting. But it feels like women's tag team wrestling across the scope to me it is losing any bit of steam, any bit of traction. We want more women's singles matches. You can have the tag team matches. We don't exactly need titles because we've kind of broken up all the teams now. We're even out here sick of seeing Danny Luna and Jody Threat taking on the Elegances here of Spitfire versus the Elegances.
Yeah, it was a revolving door with that match. But I don't think women's tag team wrestling ever had like a hot spot, if you want to say. I think maybe the
Did it
hottest.
with Sasha and Naomi.
It was short lived though. It was like because they won the tag team titles, and then it was like a month or so later they walked out, right? So I think maybe with Bianca and Jade a little bit there was
There was
some
hope.
movement there. It was pretty
I'll give,
fun.
I'll give you that because there was hope of, like I said, of it still, and I'm going to die on this hill. Crucify me here, Lord. Of when they split up the Meta Girls, when they split up Jakara and Lash, that's when I knew we're in the end of times here, boys. Because they had put them in the Knockouts tag division, they had put them on the main roster tag titles, they had put them with the NXT titles. Yes, the NXT women's tag titles were a thing at one point. So we've already seen one go the way of the dinosaur. So I think we're just gonna move past this.
Yeah.
They've cut enough, they've culled enough, and now with Liv hurt, the only thing I could see would work is if you give it to Roxanne and you fully cement, the takeover.
That's true. That's something they can play with. And honestly, I think when it comes to the Knockouts tag team division, they were going to use the NXT girls, the NXT women to help with the Knockouts tag team division. And then, the majority of them, if not all, got released. So they had to dig up, and they got the inspiration, and then they got Maggie, not Maggie Lee, but it's I can't remember their names. Mila Grace
Yeah, I
and
know.
Harley
Kate that can't
Hudson, I
sing,
think.
and the other woman.
Yeah, Mila Grace and Harley Hudson, they got them as a tag team. So we got 3 tag teams in the Knockouts tag division, but it's
You gotta
still
at
not
least
enough.
have 3 to have a division, and I think a lot of people have
Exactly.
2s.
Exactly. When it comes to WWE's women's tag team division, I don't know what we're doing at this point.
Right. But Wrestling God, what up, Brandon? As we are kicking off, folks, by the way, we've got Sami Callihan taking on EY right now. So me and Anthony can't get the polls up. Pause. Maybe Blue Chew can help us out. But let us know, folks, in the chat who you taking, whether you got EY or you're taking Sami Callihan. And nice choice to start off the show and everything. Of this is going to be hell for leather, my guy, I feel.
Yeah, this should be pretty good between two basically TNA vets here. So I'm actually kind of excited for this and see where we go from here.
Does this lead to a stip match?
It may. I feel like it may lead to something at Slamversary. We gotta I feel like between this episode and next week's episode, which is tomorrow's episode, I feel like we got to start putting matches on the card for the show. So this could lead to something at Slamversary.
Fair enough, but I'm digging I guess the new aesthetic or the
dark feel.
Almost like not exactly sanity, but almost kind of Brody King-ish, a bit-ish. If Brody King and Bandito had a child, but I'm digging the new vibe of the New North.
Yeah, I like the change of pace with the Northern Armory, with the theme and the look. I think it's pretty good.
Right.
Has Sami Callihan always been bald?
Well, no, he was what's his name there? Crow. Solomon Crow in NXT for a bit when he was the hacker and everything. He had the big
Okay.
spiky hair and everything, and then he's kind of had the little comb over when he was OVE, when he was first in
Okay.
TNA. And then now he's kind of just gone shavage because, as all men do, and again, we're not sponsored by Keeps. We should be, at least by some grooming company. But yes, male pattern baldness is a thing. Moxley's still fighting it every day. That's why he built a whole faction around just baldness for men.
That's true. That's true. The only one that's not bald is I can't even think of her name, but the female
Marina Shafir. Should they have just called the Death Riders the hair club for men? But I got Callihan rolling EY into the ring. MDB. Well, what? Boston, what up? Ronan, what up? Kyle, as we finally get a ding ding. So
yeah. I saw a chair was involved, so I'm guessing the match didn't start. Okay, I'm a little bit behind you because for some reason my TNA app cut out when the show started. But
no, you're good. I got to fight. So, folks, me and Anthony are trying to sync up and everything. As I got Callihan selling to the crowdish.
I'm there. I think we might be okay.
To the head. Punch back from EY.
Yep, I'm there. We're good.
Okay, so we somehow just
I think mine had like a hiccup and it skipped forward a little bit. So I think we're okay.
That's that good American internet, not when AJ's here with that Canadian stuff. He's on that super, fast Trudeau pipeline. Or no, he's not even there anymore. He's on that maple syrup pipeline. Sami for the win, EY for the win. Oh, MDB again. Is this the Austin Powers appreciation stream? Yes, that is up there. That is the new club out there. Instead of the Knee Pad Patrol, it's the the Austin Powers appreciation streams, the society.
It's definitely not that. This is just a regular TNA stream.
No, he's the knee pad police and everything. So now when it comes to the TNA streams, he can be the APA, the Austin Powers appreciation. So EY distracting the official as the Northern Armory Bandit Bro, I think is what MDB called him, are attacking Callihan on the outside.
Yeah.
Brodito. I said it backwards. Bradley, do we have to remind people tomorrow night not to spoil next week's show? Anthony and Nick. Wait, what?
I think he's talking about the live episode of Impact tomorrow. I think we're going to try to have both SmackDown and TNA up tomorrow. I don't know.
Yes. No, we will. Nothing. I don't know what we'd be spoiling. It'd be if we were here. We're going to be here next Thursday for a prediction show, I believe.
Right.
So it works out perfectly for us. So I don't know what anyone would be spoiling. Where, if anything, we're the spoilers looking into the future. We're watching the show that'll be in a week's time.
Exactly. We'll be looking into the future tomorrow. So we'll be here for SmackDown and TNA Impact tomorrow.
Absolutely. We got R-Truth versus John Cena.
That is happening tomorrow. Don't we have another qualifying match or the semifinals?
We have the semifinals. We have two of the semifinals. Yes, this is as we're segueing, I guess, in the middle of this match. But we got Sami Zayn taking on Randy Orton in the semifinals for the King of the Ring, and Asuka taking on Alexa Bliss in the semifinals for Queen of the Ring. Plus, we've got Ron Killings, R-Truth, taking on John Cena in a non-title match. So we will be here live for SmackDown. So when you're done this stream, or even just take a break, go like that stream now. Just hit the bell notification too, hit the subscribe all while you're right there. It's all free. Don't cost you nothing. It's like TNA Plus. They're free thing. So we're free too. And we'll be back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow. And now, thanks to TNA adding their free tier, we get to watch two shows at the same time.
Absolutely. And SmackDown looks to be pretty good tomorrow with the semifinals. So I'm leaning towards Asuka. I really wanted Alexa, but Asuka won on Monday. And I think we may be setting up Asuka versus EO. and I kind of want that.
Oh, well, Jade's also on the other side of, I thought at one point we were going to do like a Charlotte. Does Charlotte cost Alexa or anything at any point? I'm more interested by the by the Queen of the Ring, but than I am by the men's King of the Ring.
Absolutely. I'm here with you on that one. Because Charlotte could cost Alexa tomorrow. This could be setting up Alexa versus Charlotte at, Evolution, if that's their plan. So I don't know. The Queen of the Ring it has a lot more, I feel like, at stake than the King of the Ring, honestly.
Right. Yeah, we can talk about that in the commercial. And yeah, no, Bradley, you good, my guy. You good. Trust me, this is all. I'm Marty McFly out here, and Anthony's just playing, Doc. We're going back. We got to get this can stream up to 88 miles an hour and everything.
Absolutely. As we still have Callihan and Young in this match.
Right. Big chop. Tell me EY doesn't pretty much, if he put on a Wrestling for Life shirt and a ball cap, he's starting to look a little bit like KJ.
Yeah, he definitely is starting to look a little bit more like KJ.
Just put him behind the Santa Claus beard. Love you, bro. But two count. But yes, no, and again, we can touch on this in a minute and a time when it's needed and everything, or when we got the opportunity, if I can find the slide. But yes, we got things popping. We're getting extra Canadian out here on the channel and everything of June 21st, Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Daylight Savings Time. We'll be out here. KJ sat down with his French-Canadian brother out there, even though KJ's not French-Canadian. But yes, the French-Canadian Frankenstein, the man who has a potentially jaded history with TNA, PCO.
Yeah, he has a lot of negative history with TNA. But yes, this PCO interview is going down this Saturday. I'm excited to listen to it. PCO follows me on Twitter, so I love this man. So I can't wait to hear.
Humble brag. This man's throwing out the TNA president tweeting under my tweet. PCO follows me. I see you, my guy. Humble brag. Yes, no, and. For anyone questioning minds, me and Anthony don't have any idea fully of what they've discussed. I've known just from what KJ's at least put out of the topics they discussed. You and I have not heard anything of. We're both going to be watching it, same as y'all. In fact, we'll probably be in the chat live when it airs.
Exactly. We'll definitely be in the chat, hearing everything PCO has to say. I'm really excited for this. This should be good.
Right. Well,
the crowd is on their feet for this match. They're really liking it. But was that Travis Williams?
Yes, and then chair to the belly, and again, the ref distracted.
Yep.
Oh, he can't get this man up. Oh, there we go. Pile driver. Bob's your uncle.
That should be a 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. It looks like the crowd really wanted Sami Callihan to win, I think. But
absolutely. He's the babyface in this situation. Yeah. And I wonder, do we get now, because you had the Armory interfere, is this where we probably get like a steel cage or something like that? I can beat you one-on-one, but when those gets involved and everything, that's when it becomes a situation.
Yeah, it could be a steel cage. It could be them being banned from ringside. I think we get something with this that leads to maybe Slamversary.
Has banned from ringside ever worked?
It has never worked. I don't feel like it has, because they figure out another way. I don't think
it's the most clearly ignored fucking stipulation. As I've got the Rascals, Joe Hendry, Elijah Elias, and Leon Slater, and the collection of baby faces in the championship challenge here later tonight.
Yeah, which I'm excited for that. They've did this one other time before. So this should be fun. All the current male champions in TNA going against some of their top challengers at this point. So this should be fun. I think the first one had Jordan Grace in it. But yeah, they didn't include the Knockouts title this time around.
Fair. Well, Jordan Grace is a juggernaut unto herself, but
that is true. Yeah, I think it was actually Jordan Grace on the champion side, and maybe Ash by Elegance on the challenger side.
fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I have a point I want to bring up after that, but I do want to at least say hi to Devin. Of he's saying sup, Anthony and Nick. How do you feel about Gail? I guess Gail Kim was allegedly backstage. I think it was at NXT. So very much WWE's showing interest, especially now that she's a free agent, very clearly.
Yeah, I mean, Gail being in, NXT would, be fun. She has a lot of booking history from what she's done in TNA. So we'll see where this goes. Does she actually? I know she has a rocky relationship with WWE too, but she was a performer then. She's not, a performer and a wrestler now. So it might be a little different.
Yeah, I would see they hire her as a backstage head of it would be a
Yeah.
la a William Regal. They're not hiring her to be an on-screen and in-ring talent or anything.
Right.
Like you're the head of, if they brought her in the same role of you're now the head of the women's division, I think that would be really cool. And it would shut up a lot of people on Twitter. I'll say that for fucking sure.
That's true. That's true. It would shut up a lot of people.
Right.
As I think we're heading into commercial, right?
I am in commercial.
Yeah.
I believe you are as well. Wrestling Rant saying Aunt Nick, Hassan saying I vote for Sami Callihan. Well, EY1, Bash 8. And again, we do have the super chats, the super stickers. Mea copas and apologies if we missed any of your fantastic comments. We try our best. I was talking to our buddy Spaz a little bit before we went on the stream and everything, and he's talking about doing some stuff about, reworking a Survivor Series, anything. Could TNA with this kind of Champions Challenge do this like almost a Survivor Series type vibe of you've got this very much the old school kind of feel for a Survivor Series of you've got an 8-man, a 10-man tag. You don't have to do 75-man tags like AEW, but you've got all the baby faces on one side, all theoretically the heels on the other side, and depending on say who remains, you add a stipulation of so-and-so who remains gets their title shot, or if the heels win, they don't have to defend their titles or something. Could that be a pay-per-view or a main show, a surprise show concept going forward?
So we're talking about like the traditional 5-on-5 elimination Survivor Series type match.
Like if we had the men we have and the little box between us and everything like that, like if you had to manage, Team Moose and Trick and all of that, and I had to manage Team Hendry and the Rascals, my 5, my 6, whatever will beat your team. If you had that, and it's very clearly kind of all heels-ish or guys who can work heel versus all guys who can work babyface, could that be the main event of your against all odds, or your in between kind of TNA show, a special show, maybe not a pay-per-view, could lead to a pay-per-view?
Yeah, you could do something like that if they do something like that. You can have that. And if it's built correctly and it's a story behind it, yeah, for sure you can have that like as a main event of some type of, sacrifice or against all odds or victory road somewhere there. But it would definitely have to be heels versus faces. I know the first champion challenge, like Moose was the world champion and Jordan Grace was the knockouts champion. They both were, one was a heel, one was a face. So it would definitely have to have this champion challenge with both sides being one heel, one face.
But does that get interesting of it's a new and unique concept that way of regardless whether you're a heel or babyface, if you're a champion, you're on this side of you are on this team versus the other team. So then you get that odd pairings of how will they coexist? Like you mentioned, Jordan being a babyface, Moose being a heel. How will they coexist now?
Yeah,
That's where you can see the slight dissensions.
Yeah, that would be fun too. It'd be if they have a story behind it. I think it will work. I actually kind of like that idea.
Fair enough. Well, 4 individuals that may or may not be staying together. We've got the Order 4 Summit.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if Mustafa Ali is trying to get everybody back on his side, but he's really the one causing the dissension in the group. Everybody else is fine with one another.
I am not toxic in this relationship. You are all the toxic people.
Exactly.
Alan, what up? What do you think about Adam Field take WWE Women's Tag Team Championship this Monday Night Raw? Yes or no? Because I'm unfully aware of what you're trying to ask, I'm going to say no.
I think he's talking about Adam Pierce, right? Yeah, Adam Pierce taking away the women's tag team titles. That definitely could be the case. They definitely could be stripped on Monday or just taken away altogether. We'll see.
Fair enough. Vance, what up? Jason, what up? As Ali's, so everyone is out here just circling around Ali. I don't like this. They should be in the ring with him because they're all circling him. So now he's just going to sit there and pick them all apart. Let me tell you something about you that you don't know.
Exactly. This is that's his cabinet. They all should be behind him, but he's asking Tasha to be a step in the ring here. So
The Ad Man Podcast. Hello, new to the channel.
What's
Shout
up?
out to your friend. Yes, we got 69. Nice. Let's see if we can get that higher. But we got 69 people watching with us. What up? How do you feel about That's the Man showing up on Monday Night Raw?
That's the man. I'm lost.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh.
dun, dun, dun,
Oh,
dun, dun.
I was all set. I was all set to probably go to Saturday Night Main Event and Evolution. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm not wasting my time. I am not fighting.
You got to be the all-scene reporter, my guy. We need all the footage of this man. I need to see his paperclip fucking thoughts and prayers, toilet paper held together, ass knees explode. Like
I am not
fighting a man dolphin and shit.
I am not fighting Beyonce and the Destiny's Child traffic to go see Goldberg and Gunther. We'll be heading to Evolution.
Can you say my name?
I'll just be going to Evolution whenever they, announce the individual tickets.
Quit calling me Goldberg. Can you say my name? But Nick, what up? I will say your name, sir. I do it every morning. What? Pause. I heard Anthony is going to a meet and greet with Goldberg. Yes, I need you to. You're going to get the same tattoo when we reach 10K. Me and KJ are going to get the logo tattooed on us. You're going to get the Goldberg tattoo right there. First one. And we're going to stream Austin Powers while you do it.
Y'all will stream Austin Powers while y'all do it.
But yes, Wrestling Proud, reminding everybody, hit that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. Exactly.
So Mustafa Ali is asking Tasha to apologize to him.
Can I say something? Is it weird that Mustafa Ali left WWE because didn't want to work under Vince, all of that, very much of how he was treated, and thought that was all tasteless, classless, everything. Now out here making a woman, you will apologize. Does it not feel a little, you became your own worst enemy? You either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain.
Maybe a little bit. We know Vince is just a terrible person. He's just playing the character, but absolutely. I like it.
It reminds me of the Trish Stratus kind of
a little bit. I get that. Yeah, that's a good take on it. I know Tasha Steelz though has something up her sleeve. She's been talking to someone on the phone. A lot of people have hinted that it's Cedric Alexander for some reason, but I feel like Cedric Alexander is AEW bound because of the Hurt Syndicate. But I don't know. We'll see.
Right. Now, is this left or right hand that
I've been calling him right hand.
All right,
but that's Jason
Hodge left. But yeah, and well, it's just even this whole segment is just, we kind of said what it was going to be of this is just a public undressing.
Yeah.
That's why it felt weird. This is Scar and the Hyenas of now you expect that the hyenas are going to circle up and say, I'm sick of him saying this and that about me, so let's kick his ass. The three of us combined to beat the shit out of him.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, he's just basically trying to point the finger at this point, and I feel like this needs to be the moment that everybody turns on him, but I don't see that happening. I don't like that he yelled at Tasha Steelz, though. I want to punch him for that.
Well, and he's doing it with everybody. You will apologize. See, again, I feel like I've seen this in a McMahon segment of you, Jim Ross. You will apologize. This is a little a la Kiss My Ass Club.
Yep. It gives that feel a little bit.
Hey, so Hodge apologizes. Well, figures the right-hand man's going to be the suck-up. Now here comes the stranger, the left hand.
The left hand. We got John Schuyler.
Order 66 over Order 4. This might be a little Order 66. Ali got a bald spot in his hairline. I don't see it.
Oh, did he snatch the mic from Mustafa? He did.
Yeah, I'm sick of yours over and over. He's the most. I know they had like Daphne do the Sarah Palin like parody. Could you see left hand here do a JD Vance?
A little bit.
It's kind of there. Good hands. Please beat up Ali. Well, one hand said yes, and the other saying no.
Yeah, one hand is saying yes, the other is saying no. So he's saying that Tasha Steelz and Jason Hotch is his family.
So we're gonna get this as the starting feud, and that's now going to question right hand's loyalty.
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm with you on there.
I feel terrible that I have to refer to right and left and kind of do this shit of which one's which. Yeah.
Shoot, I still have to do it too. So
it might be from how his hair part. I don't see it. Mr. Quake calling Ali a Timu CM Punk. Actually, that's where it was. That's where it's from. It's still a McMahon segment, but it's Punk to McMahon. You will apologize during the contract negotiations.
Ooh,
after Money in the Bank. Yeah. Where are my ice cream bars? Yes. Thank you, Mr. Quake. Actually, because that's perfect.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. So Mustafa Ali says that his mission is to make Order 4 the strongest in TNA, and he can't tolerate weakness.
Bro, you won how many matches?
Right, he has.
Ricochet with the hair ass. Sit your fucking youngin' ass down.
Mustafa Ali been losing lately too.
He Ricochet with the hair ass. Bro,
he a little bit better than Ricochet.
And you've been taking L's left, right, and center.
That's true. That is true. Oh, he said get on your hands and knees and apologize.
Oh, all right. Now we've gone full Kiss My Ass Club. Oh, he's gonna. Now, why even fake it if you're gonna pipe up and no? Just you right out the gate with that. Oh, big shove.
Oh, they're getting a little physical.
Now, halfway trying to see if this segue can work. Is this reminiscent to your favorite horror movie, The Conjuring, of the cabinet drawers are popping off and taking out, the homeowner here?
A little bit.
That we got possessed cabinets out here. Shit's flying off the hinges.
A call to arms match. So it's going to be John Schuyler versus Mustafa Ali in a calls to arms match.
Well, Christ almighty, is this brought to you by Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes? We got their good hands. We got a call to arms. We're moving up the fucking body here. We got to make sure his shoulders are on the mat for a 3 count. when his back goes splat, we're gonna work through the whole fucking human anatomy here.
A little bit until we get to the head, which is Mustafa Ali, I guess, right?
Well, he is a dickhead. Pause. Yes, but yeah, it's just super interesting as we're getting an MSK, MK Ultra, MSK, and MK Ultra video package.
Yeah.
Well, we did kind of call the match that they were gonna. We knew that that was going to be the feud with Ali and everything, and now I'm still curious as to what a call to arms match is. This ain't a scene; it's a goddamn arms race.
Yeah, I'm interested of how they pull this off. I need to know what a call to arms match is.
Does he show up in a tank? Does someone show up in a tank?
It
Rusev
may
might have one
be,
on loan.
maybe. So Killer Kelly is saying it's her turn to take away what means the most to Masha, which is the Knockouts title. I feel like this might be the first time I've ever heard Killer Kelly speak.
This is something that I'm so excited for when it comes to the women's knockouts division. This is going to be, we've seen these women get involved a bit across the board and in singles matches, etc., through Wrestling Revolver, GCW, etc. Seeing Masha and Killer Kelly go at it. You strap a Monster's Ball or something like that on there, pause. And that's a money match. That's a main event match. That could be match of the night. That it could be arguably, I would say, best women's match of the year.
Yeah, I hope something happens in the initial match that leads to something at Slamversary with the stipulation. This match happens. I actually believe this match happens tomorrow on the live episode. I think it was 2 weeks ago. They said it would be in 2 weeks, which would be next Thursday, which would be tomorrow in the future. So
I can let you know what happens on the show tomorrow. They've already so it is Masha versus Killer Kelly. I believe it's a non-title match. Oh no, TNA Knockouts World Championship. So it is a title match.
Yes. So I hope something happens to where this leads to something at Slammiversary between those two. If Masha drops the title to anybody right now, I think Killer Kelly would be fun, and seeing Killer Kelly as world, Knockouts world champ.
Yeah, well, it's just to me, it's going back to like when Britt and Thunder Rosa had a fantastic women's kind of hardcore match and everything.
Blood feud. Yeah.
I feel like these two are right now the people who could do this and do it really well. To where you could see two women actually get really hardcore. I know hashtag YouTube, all of that, triple X, none of that, but yeah, that they could very much have an actual knockout, drag out, blood feud and everything, and get deep in the waters here with this. And it would just be great. Like, it's the same thing to me as watching a Sami Callihan EY stick match. I just want it. Give it to me in my veins.
No, yeah. And I think in the past they've had a dog collar match between those two. So yeah, this time around we need to do something that's very hard hitting between those two. And I think the way to go is Monsters Ball. I think that's perfect.
Right. Duh and man. I don't know why I have to duh makes me just kind of feel duh when I say it at the beginning. All these character work here in TNA is much better than his Retribution run in WWE. Yeah, I think that they've given him a lot more rope to fully flesh out his character. To me, especially with him in WWE, I kept wanting him to find it and go with it, and then they just kind of pulled the rug out from underneath him all the time. Like his in the car promos just on his phone were better than some of the in-ring stuff that they gave him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's come real far right now in TNA. Even when he was X Division champion last summer, like that was phenomenal. So yeah, he's doing some good things. He really is.
Right. as we're getting the Elegances versus Team Street Fighter, I guess. Mortal Kombat with Masha Slamovich and Ye Ling Yi Lee. Zia Lee.
I like that. Team Street Fighters versus the Elegance brand, basically.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was between Street Fighters or Mortal Kombat. It depends on which console you had or how you
Right. That's true. That's true. I feel like with this tag team match, I feel like we're gonna get some type of appearance by the Inspiration. I think they're next up to take the titles. I think. I'm not sure though.
Really? No, I think we get an appearance by Killer Kelly, who we saw in the video package earlier.
That's true. Killer Kelly too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the better fit. Killer Kelly.
Every time I see the Elegance's intro, I feel like I just need to buy my wife like a bath bomb or something.
One of those Bed Bath and Beyond baskets.
Yeah, I'm out there. I'm at Bed Bath and Body Works there. Yeah. But we got the Elegance brand.
I made like a TikTok video about the Elegance brand, and I said their name so many times. Someone in the comments said, "Take a shot for every time he says Elegance."
You'll be blitzed by the end of the video.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, they're out here champagne popping and everything, but A-Drop said, what up? Lei Ying Lee. MDB, is that who you taking? Who you taking? Capone, what's up, peeps? Let's go. Whooping that trick tonight. Yes, we're popping the top on TNA's birthday and a lovely episode of Trick NA.
Yes. Speaking of Trick NA, isn't the TNA title on the line this coming this coming Tuesday on NXT? I couldn't watch NXT because they were playing women's basketball again here in Atlanta. So I don't know what happened.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, if we talk about a certain topic, I might have a WNBA tie-in with that, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, no, it is Trick. It is Trick versus Briggs, because there was the 6-man tag to where Wesley filled in for Casey Navarro. It was Casey Navarro, or it was Wesley, AJ Francis, and Trick versus Yoshi, Briggs, and Elijah. And Yoshi ended up pinning Trick to win the match. And so it was going to be a title match for Yoshi versus Trick, and Yoshi gave his title opportunity to Briggs. That is a long ass fucking convoluted way to get to a decision. I just realized
that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like.
But no, that's how, folks. 100%. Now we can't deny it, because I literally pulled all of that shit from memory from being here. Let somebody else on stream try and do something like that. We've been out here in these streets, but
right. Okay, so that was what's led to the match. Okay, the TNA World Title match, because I saw it up on Twitter and I was like, well, I couldn't watch NXT, so I don't know what's happening.
Right. But we got Brendan out there on the Twitch. Yes, we got Twitches as well, as we got, again, 69 nights. Let's see if we can get to triple digits across the board out here. Let's see if we get triple digit viewers on YouTube, triple digit likes, and triple digit followers out there on the Twitchers. So yeah, be a friend, tell a friend. The universe is ever expanding. And trust me, again, as you've seen with the release of, the PCO interview, we got things up our sleeves, folks. Big things popping, little things stopping, up to something. Season never sleeps.
Right. I know Court's returning soon. I know the Wings show is returning soon. I think the Wings show is all going to be about women's wrestling in honor of Evolution. So we got a lot of things coming up.
Right. So Anthony is going to mop the floor on that Wings show. I'm sure I will embarrass myself and feel so confident about something and get it so wrong.
Yeah, it's gonna be this is gonna be fun. I feel like if I lose this, like, just take me off the channel.
Well, no, and that's been a minute though too. So it's, again, the nerve innings have came back together and everything like that. So this might be more sweating and everything, because it's been a minute. When you do them back to back and everything, you get numb to that shit.
That is true. So it'd be a minute. Y'all might see us, shaking in our boots a little bit from the heat of the wings and the sauces.
And especially in this summer heat too, my guy, doubling
Oh
down
my
on the heat.
God. Especially in Atlanta, because it's hot over here.
I'm already moist. Pause. Man, imagine eating in 1,000,000 some odd Scoville units in 90-degree weather with 70% humidity.
Exactly. And we got
I don't know
90
which part's gonna be more hot, the outside or the inside.
and we got 90-degree weather heading our way, and it's gonna feel like 110 when we have this next week. I'm not excited.
Is that what happens when a beehive swarms, my guy? It raises the temperature of the city?
A little bit. As we got the start of this match, I think we got Ash and Lei Ying starting this off.
Yeah, that's so fucking weird to me though. By the way, I thought we were talking over the match. No, this match like still hasn't started.
Right, it hasn't started at all yet.
Right. So who you got, sir?
I'm gonna take Lei Ying Lee and Masha.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat,
take the
all of them
Elegances
rolled together.
What the fuck is? We're pulling up the phone to show what?
What is this?
Bullshit. Oh, she was translating what Laying was saying.
Oh,
okay, on the phone.
Okay.
Like, all right, because Asuka doesn't cut promos in Japanese or anything like that, or Io does it. Yeah, I don't know. Well, Ling Lee is I believe Chinese, but not to get into fucking that shit. But anyways,
right.
Trick's run with the title will end at Slamversary versus Mike Santana. Could be.
I heard some people talk about, because there's a lot of challengers for the TNA World Title right now. We got obviously we got Trick, we got Mustafa, not Mustafa, Mike Santana, we got Joe Hendry, what's the other guy, Frankie Kazarian. They're all wanting the title, right? I heard rumors of the King of the Mountain match coming back for the world title at Slamversary.
Is that how you have to talk about that match every time, of just King of the Mountain? So that would be super interesting, because that around your just had your anniversary as we cut to commercial, as small as was happening on the outside, but around your anniversary, and that's one of those few matches that's very unique to TNA. So I really like leading on the history you already have.
Right. And I think that'll be perfect for Slammiversary. I think the last time we've seen a King of the Mountain or Queen of the Mountain match, I think Jordan Grace won the title. That was a few years ago. I want to say that might have been back in 2022. So this might be the time to bring it back.
I have a bold question to ask, and I'm hoping Keyshawn's still listening, but could you bring back, if you do King of the Mountain, the man whose retirement tour got derailed before it even left the station, the man synonymous with King of the Mountain, if you bring back Double J, Double T, Jeff Jarrett out there, and he gets involved. Now, granted, it'd be crossing lines because you might be partnering with the enemy side.
I first of all, I forgot his retirement tour was derailed, because didn't he sign like his last contract with AEW?
He had a whole thing with MJF and then just decided to
and then it just died. I totally forgot about that. That would be fun to bring Jeff Jarrett in for that. I would
get a huge reaction if you do that.
Pop. Yeah, huge pop for Jeff Jarrett. I would actually like that idea. But you reminded me about his retirement tour.
Don't worry, they forgot to. People don't forget, Tony. People don't forget. But I vote for Masha team. There you go. MDB's agreeing with Dale. Yeah, got that. Kyle, Nick, how likely do you think we get a Mickie James appearance at Evolution? I've been calling for Mickie James to show up for 2 years now. Especially with her goddamn husband working there. I even made a tag team with her and Fallon that now is irrelevant, of Softcore Country.
I would love Mickie to show up.
Well, I want that's the one chamber that you have still that you haven't unloaded. That's actually someone who would still wrestle. This is my gripe of when a Nikki Bella, a Brie Bella shows up. Cool, they're showing up so they can get their flowers, so they can get a attaboy. They're not going to be there next week. Mickie James is someone who could be there next week, next month, especially if she's not going to do LFG, which I didn't realize LFG season 2 so fast after season 1. But Mickie James, give her a last run. Give her a last run at WWE.
Okay, look, yeah, you froze for a second, but
What?
yeah, it would be cool for Mickie
Oh.
James to come back for a little bit. I know she's doing her thing over there in OVW, but seeing Mickie James back in WWE would be nice. She can still go. We've seen her run in TNA. She still has it, and she still can go.
You have her do the, and by the way, anyone let me know if I'm, still lockjaw, if I'm popping and locking out here. I'm in thunderstorm territory, but having her have that kind of last gunslinger run in WWE of she goes out of, that's the in thing right now in pro wrestling. It was at one time women's tag team titles. Now it's retirement tours. So you give her a retirement tour in WWE and she can go out versus a Charlotte, a Becky, a Murderer's Row of women in that division. She could sit there and revitalize a feud from TNA with her and Jordan. That's a hell of a way to go. You get a unique feud of Mickie James versus Stephanie McCourt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just like you said about revisiting the Jordan Grace feud, that's the match that got me to watch TNA every week. Jordan Grace, Mickie James, Hard to Kill 2023. What a banger match! And they could really redo that in TNA. I mean, in WWE, they really could do that. And I think she needs to come back one last time because her last run wasn't that great. Vince McMahon didn't care about her. Let her come back. Let her, do her own thing and then go out on top. I like that.
Right. Absolutely. But we've got the Elegances beating up Lee on the outside as, by the way, who is the firecracker there that is 7 foot tall compared to everybody else at ringside for some reason?
That is Maggie Lee. She now goes by by Elegance, but she's a part of the Elegance brand, and she is super tall. I feel like she's.
Did they pluck her fresh off the farm? Did they trade overalls for dresses?
And maybe, especially with a name called Maggie Lee. Maybe. I really want to know how tall she is though, because she is super tall.
Fair enough. Am I good? I buffered for half a second, so I'm making sure I'm not.
You're good. Yeah, you're good. Okay. You're good.
Oh, fucking. But my TNA isn't. Oh, now we're back. I got caught in the space-time continuum. I got caught up in the multiverses.
It's just a lot of things going wrong at this point.
Well, just a lot of things. And again, TNA is probably also, think about it, they're trying to probably upload their stuff too at the same time. We had the glitch when we were watching the last TNA show.
That's true.
They're very much having to update the servers of now we've got to take on this insurgence of free users.
Yeah, and from what I'm understanding, every time they have like a live special or pay-per-view, they're having more numbers of people subscribing. So they definitely got to, work on their app just a little bit more.
We got sellouts, my guy.
Exactly.
We're up there in Canada, haven't turned people away.
Don is asking me about the rain in Atlanta. It's rained in Atlanta, and I'm not kidding. It's rained in Atlanta the past 35 to 40 days.
So you just Forrest Gump of one day the skies go open up and it just started raining.
That's exactly where it is. Now we have breaks in between the rain, but it literally has rained almost every day for the past 2 months, and it's nonstop. It's nonstop.
Someone told me long ago.
I think Nick froze again. There he goes. He's back.
Well, maybe this might be my time to take a pause for the cause here.
Yeah.
Maybe reboot my things of make sure I'm optimizing my AIs. What?
It might be.
I will be back, sir.
as Nick steps out to get the internet fixed over there or whatever it's going on with the freezing. But we still have this tag team match going down. We got the Elegance brand, Ash and Heather versus Lei Ying Lee and Masha Slamovich, which it seems like, we almost had a pinfall there by Lei Ying Lee, but yeah, it seems like at this point this match is really cooking between these two teams. Kyle, I'm gonna go through the chat a little bit, but Kyle down here is asking me, Anthony, have you heard anything about Gail Kim working with WWE? Just heard the rumors today a little bit. But I don't know. We'll see where it leads. We'll definitely see where it leads with the with Gail Kim. I think she will work well in NXT. I think she'll work well with Shawn Michaels, so we'll definitely see. I like this comment by Boston. It's just me and him now. Just saying. Denisha, it's rain and stop, Anthony. It's getting annoying. It definitely is. The rain. I've never complained about the weather as this match continues. I've never really complained about the weather in my life, but this constant rain and thunderstorms, we usually in Georgia have spring and summer storms, but it's not this consistent. And it's been consistent and it's starting to get quite annoying. It's so annoying that like even my coworkers are like, it's never going to stop raining at this point. MDB says no, we're not reading your comment and you stole from Boston anyway. So Damien says, I've heard Kevin Nash wants another run. He looks in great shape. He's 288 pounds. I've heard things like that. I've heard things about Kevin Nash as Masha Slamovich takes out both members of the Elegance brand. Goes for a 2 count, but doesn't get it quite yet. Don down here is saying the hotel I was in was shaking with thunder and lightning. That will, yeah, that's the Atlanta Thunder and Lightning. It is tough. It could shake the house. It's tough. I'm just saying. Living here is not for the faint. As it looks like it was a pin attempt, MDB, if you want, Anthony, if you won't watch Austin Powers, will you at least listen to my song Stone Cold Steve Austin Powers? Probably not, because it has an Austin Powers reference in it. I don't think I will. Damien, thoughts on Jason Hotch re-signing with TNA? I'm glad someone asked me this question. I love Jason Hotch. I think he is the future of the X division. Heather is about to take out. Yeah, Heather's about to take out Lei Ying Lee with a Irish whip to the steel post, but Jason Hotch is one of the future X division stars. I feel it. And if anybody saw his match at Against All Odds against Mustafa Ali, that was a star-making match for him. So, here comes Killer Kelly. You got I think you got Masha and Dana Brooke, Ash by Elegance, at the top, and she hits her finisher, Rarefied Air, or the Swanton Bomb, and gets the pin. So she pins the Knockouts champion after an interference by Killer Kelly. I'm excited for this match tomorrow as we look into the future to next week's TNA Impact. But yes, Jason Hotch resigning, great. It needs to happen. They need to keep some guys around, and I think Jason Hotch really could be the future of the X division, just like Leon Slater and things of that sort. Boston, at least watch Stone Cold ET. I think that's in reference to MDB. Wrestling Pro, yes. In Maryland, it's been consistently storming like every night. Yeah, it's pretty bad here in Atlanta. So trying to catch up with the chat here a little bit, but we got the inspiration. So let's pause for the inspiration because I love these two. They're saying they made the Knockouts tag team titles iconic. And they said the inspiration is watching and coming for them. Inspire. Okay, I like this. I like this. I like that the inspiration is in TNA right now. Denisha, going back to the chat as they do the injury report. Yes, if it's about true on Gail Kim working with WWE, please let it be true. She needs to be there. I think she'll work well. I really think she'll work well in NXT. I think this is Don MDB. Why would you do that to me? I might be making more trips down there soon. Please lift it. The rain is just crazy. It really is. MDB says you got to talk to Anthony. I don't make the rules. Going down this chat a little bit. Yes, Denisha, we both live in Georgia. I don't live too far from just a point of reference. I don't live too far from the Gas South Arena in Gwinnett. As we go through the chat here, Damien is asking, when do you think the inspiration will get a shot at Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance for the Knockouts Tag Team Champions? I feel like Slammiversary, right? Slammiversary is actually a month from tomorrow. It's July 20th. So we have to start building matches towards Slammiversary. I think that will be a phenomenal match if they wait until Slammiversary. I like the Elegance brand. The inspiration is back. When they were tag team champions back in 2022, I thought they had a great run with those titles. So I'm excited to see what happens after that. So MDB says, I'm number one. Anthony, why don't you love me yet? I guess he's number one in the YouTube game. So congratulations, MDB. I'll give you that one. Also, Eric lives in Georgia too. Yeah, I'm pretty far from Ellenwood, I think. Yeah, I think I might be about an hour away from Ellenwood. And as you guys know, TNA is on commercial. That's why I'm just talking about random things at this point. Brandon says, do you think the Elegance brand and Inspiration Feud has potential to be huge? I think it has potential to really shine a spotlight on the Knockouts Tag Team division. I think we've honestly been lacking over the past couple of months. We got 3 teams in the division now. I feel like we may have some more coming soon. I don't know who, but this could be huge. I really like the Inspiration. And I really feel like they need to take the tag titles on their first match. That's just me. But I think it could be good. Denisha says she lives in Athens. Yeah, I'm definitely pretty far from Athens. Jobson says the rain was crazy in New York today. It seems like it's just raining everywhere at this point. Jobson, shout out. He's shouting out me. See, I like that. I like that. MDB says he's also number one in our hearts. I don't think you are. I really don't think you are. Boston says that I look lovely tonight, and I know MDB tried to copy that. We don't copy here. MDB. Damien, did you hear Bryan Danielson return to in Mexico last night? So was it a part of the Collision tapings that he returned? I did see clips of his return to AEW. He was in street clothes. He wasn't dressed up, to wrestle. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with Bryan Danielson in AEW. I feel like he's done, though. I really do feel like he's done with his in-ring career. As we're back with TNA, and I will get to the slide here. We hear from Santino Marella, so we'll see what he has to say. Maybe something with Slammiversary implications, but we'll see. Timmy Society Podcast 605 says been raining Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. I don't know what that other one is. I think that's Missouri, and I definitely don't know what Dixie is a lot in the past few months. Yeah, it's crazy. It's definitely crazy. Okay, so he's talking about next week, which is tomorrow. So Mike Santana's suspension.
My unsuspended, my guy.
Yeah, so Mike's you looks good. You look fine.
All right, okay. Hi, welcome back. I'm here for the accusations, the allegations, false accusations, to quote Rick Ross. Yes.
So next week, Mike Santana's suspension is over. He faces AJ Francis in a street fight, which will go down tomorrow night.
Yes, that is part of. So there is that card. There is Masha versus Killer Kelly for the Knockouts Championship. The Hardys in action. We're getting Victoria Crawford and Tessa Blanchard versus the Undisputed. Trey Miguel with Zachary Wentz taking on Nick Nemeth with Ryan Nemeth in the corners, respectively. The Elegance brand, and I also, even spoiler it, I can see into the multiverses of say what's going to be on Saturday as well. I can maybe talk 2 weeks into the future. But yes, Tommy Dreamer, I love me some Tommy. He always looks like the dad that's late at the pickup line type shit and everything. Like, he always looks like the fucking put the fries in the bag ass motherfucker. You look greasy when you're fucking freshly clean, my guy.
Yeah.
I don't like the Steven Seagal man bun bullshit. Cut that shit.
He said something about Mance Warner versus who?
I don't know. Maybe Tommy Dreamer.
There. Well,
That's
I guess
the
we'll have to
speed of the
find
devil
out.
and they shall fear.
Warner.
As Alan's bringing up the draft, we can maybe talk about that in a commercial. I love that Mance Warner is on weekly television because goddamn was he good on the indies. Granted, he is what John Moxley
thinks
was
he is
trying to be.
Yeah. Wait. Is it gonna be Mance Warner versus Tommy Dreamer?
Yeah, that's where I feel this is going. We're going, South Texas Death Ride versus New Jersey Turnpike.
This is
WWE Army. What up? Is that More Toast? You look like you might have the face of More Toast. I know people are claiming that Tony just, bent heaven and earth to get More Toast back on a CMLL show, but I think it just took dating a Mercedes, signing a lease for a Mercedes to get you on that show. Just saying. Why is Tommy Dreamer still wrestling? Because God doesn't love us anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why Tommy Dreamer is still wrestling.
I would rather see.
Oh, Jake something. We haven't seen him in months.
Something shall appear.
Okay,
if it's Jake something versus Mance, and Tommy's the counsel, the manager, what have you. If we got Jake something versus Mance, and Tommy's not going to wrestle, and he's in the corner of Jake, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I like that. He just took Mance Warner out. I don't know what kind of move he did. He just kind of threw his whole body at him, but
the pelvic thrust. Put your hands inside. But if his name was anything, very funny to say this, if his name was anything but rather than something, it would be a lot better. I feel I would actually, I don't know. I feel like they would have a bit more serious tone if I could relate a bit more to it. Like, I don't know too many people with the last name something.
Exactly. Like, I'm not big on the name things or anything like that, but Jake something just seems so so basic, right?
Right?
So if he had a different last name, I think it'd work a little bit better for him.
Yeah. Again, not to sound fucking weirdly ironic, but if his name was anything, and I do mean anything over something, it would be a lot better. But RK Shuttlesworth is that like Xavier Woods with a pip named Slipback. He enjoys wrestling. That's why. Indian
So
Tessa face to face.
yeah, you got Tessa basically saying, "Did you forget who couch you slept on? Who gave you the opportunities?"
Never failed. The Crimson Chin is here. Take anything else. Dreamer versus Sandman all day. Yeah, maybe in their prime, but even the last time we saw Sabu, it was the last time we saw Sabu when Sandman showed up. And it was just meandering and pandering, and it just, holy shit, does this ever end? This is the entrance that goes on and on. But I know I like it if Tommy's going to step aside and realize I can't go anymore because no one wants to see Tommy go anymore. Not even Dave or Bully or Mark. But have him be kind of in the corner for Jake something versus a Mance Warner. I think that's a really good feud, especially we're glossing over the fact we just got Jake something back after what X amount of time, it feels like how they just glossed over when Asuka came back after a fucking year, and then we got to cut a promo to remind everyone she's been gone a year.
Yeah, Jake something's been gone off the top of my head. I think his last match in TNA was against Joe Hendry on an episode of Impact for the TNA World Title, and I think that took place maybe in February. So he's been gone, 3-ish months there. So he's been gone a while. So I think coming back immediately, putting him in a feud with Mance Warner, I think that's perfect. I like both of them, honestly. And I had never seen Mance Warner really outside of TNA before, but what I've seen so far in TNA, I'm like, can we give him the international title after Steve Macklin has a lengthy reign?
Which is surprising because he was kind of, and hi, Kevin. I agree with you, Boston, of, I guess, New Englanders unite after you were establishing the Peach Army out there in Georgia. But New Englanders unite of Tessa's face built like a scream mask. Yeah, not the one that has the little blood pack and everything, of the little shit you can squeeze and it squirts out blood and everything. But Timmy, what up? I think it's really interesting that Mance Warner was the last guy, the most recent signee out of GCW when you had Nick Wayne, Tony Deppen, you had Billy Starks. I almost called her Billie Eilish. You had Blake Christian and everything that were all signed to kind of developmental future endeavor kind of deals with AEW. And even Nick Wayne's the most prominent out of that crop. And even then, he's still playing second, third fiddle. Meanwhile, Mance Warner is getting to be Mance Warner in the public eye. Of like, there is WWE reference of Mance Warner on their television programming. That's a thing. That's a big fucking statement, I feel. When he's the outlaw guy, he's the guy that's bleeding spigots out of his forehead.
Yeah, Mance Warner came in, basically made a huge, statement and impact going into an immediate feud with Sami Callihan. And I mean, their match at, I think it was Unbreakable, was a bloody mess, and I enjoyed every bit of it. And then they had him against Steve Macklin a couple of weeks ago. That was fun too. So, and now he's going up against another big gentleman in Jake something. So yeah, he's really made a name for himself in TNA right now.
Right, as we got the Nemes, who are they're just highlighting of them being at Triple Mania and everything, which unless you had a VPN or lived in Mexico, you have not seen, you have just only heard whispers and rumors. I don't know if you've heard any of the whispers and rumors about this show.
Yeah. I feel like if you had a VPN, I believe people were saying you could watch on HBO Max. I'm not sure how true that is if you have a VPN.
Mm.
But yeah, they had heavy TNA involvement. Moose was there, the tag team titles, champions were there. Um, Joe Hendry. So yeah, they had a lot of TNA stars.
Right. Well, I will maybe if we can get to a commercial, if I can ever remember it on a commercial break of, AEW just had their CMLL show, which I don't know if I want to give that show a 6 just because of how many championships some certain person won. I think that might be low. So I'm a 6.5, a 7 on that show, but I got the system coming out now.
Yeah, she's just collecting belts over there. Apparently, the
It's just
Beyonce of women's wrestling.
we'll talk about that. Don't chat right now. Do not let my vitamin ass forget that for the next commercial break, because I got the system coming out. So we're getting the Champions Challenge kicking off right now.
Is it the Champions Challenge?
Oh no, well,
I think it might be that tag team match.
and now we got the goddamn system. So no, we're getting this match. Sorry, they again confusing propaganda from TNA. They advertise a match before they go to commercial break, and then they come back with another match.
Yeah, so we got Eddie Edwards and JDC of the system taking on Matt Cardona and a mystery partner.
So
don't have any guesses of who it could be.
So Christ, why am I forgetting the other Ed Hedges name? Brian Myers. Brian Myers.
Well, he's with the system.
Shit. Well, I was like, does he turncoat? Because I'm like, who's the mystery opponent?
What if it's the hometown man who is Cody Deaner?
Shotzi Blackheart, they fight it out over who's the indie king or queen.
Oh, right. Apparently, Shotzi hates TNA from what she's said over the past couple of days. Do I want to talk about it? I don't think so, but
she's a weird interview. But speaking of interviews, though, we do have, and speaking of Shotzi, though, too, if I can find it, 100% PCO out there mentioning the Shotzi and everything of we might see the Frankenstein and the creature from the Black Lagoon teaming up as indie tag teams out there.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Matt Cardona has the mic, so we'll see who he's bringing out, I guess.
Yeah, well, who's going to be friends at this point with Matt Cardona in TNA? Yeah. So I found, because he's right here, and it's Brian Myers.
It's hometown man. It has to be. It is.
And it takes the tractor another round. Jesus.
It's Cody Deaner. It is Cody Deaner.
Getting Charles Ass Starkley out here.
So on commentary, they're explaining, how we got to the hometown man. It all started at Against All Odds. It was a mystery partner that Matt Hardy's team needed, and it turned out to be hometown man, which is Cody Deaner, who was fired from TNA, or not fired, just his contract was not renewed.
Yeah, so he's a little a la Hogan and Mr. America.
A little bit.
Yeah, he comes out with the Charles Barkley jersey.
Is he dressed like, I'm not good with sports teams, but is that the Suns?
I think he's trying to be, obviously. Are they? I don't know if I cannot confirm nor deny, especially with this being a taped episode, if they're in Phoenix, Arizona.
They are in Arizona, yeah.
Yeah, but he's got like the top, like I can just fit this in anywhere, and the shorts and the mask may change up, but the top, the singlet top, is just generic as F.
Okay.
Cameron saying, I never thought Alicia Fox would join TNA. I don't see why. To me, it makes all the sense in the fucking book there of trying to stay involved, and you're going to pair her with Tessa Blanchard. You already latched in. You already had her almost contending for a GM-ish spot.
Right, and you had her compete for the Knockouts World title too. So,
right,
she's trying to for some reason she's trying to make a comeback in wrestling. So,
I'm going to offend probably just her, but the world's greatest 38-year-old going on 50. He's a hometown man. He's just a common man. Yeah, should he do the bionic elbow and everything like that?
He should.
It's hard times. It's hard times out here when he can't get booked in the hometown.
He's just a common man working hard with his hands.
As Eddie Edwards right now in control of Zack Ryder. Indianapolis 30, OKC 27. Okay, what quarter? Because this is nut up or shut up time for the Pacers. This is either game 7 or we got Panthers.
I thought the series was over by now. They're still going at it.
And that series right now is 3-2. The Stanley Cup series just ended the other night of Florida. Florida, of all places. And I know this is a crawl that sticks in KJ's beard. Of Florida, of all teams, of all states, not the insurance company, has 2 back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Meanwhile, Canada is out there. There are children in college that have not seen a Canadian team win a Stanley Cup.
So a Canadian team has never won a Stanley Cup.
No, they've won it, but it's been that long. It's like the Yankees. We got stuck on 27. We're waiting for 28, 29 type of. Canada's been stuck on, their last Stanley Cup for a good while now. They're the Ric Flair in this situation, hoping for a 17.
While Georgia is trying to get them another NHL team.
Hey.
Oh, sliced bread? Sliced bread.
Well, that's what the hometown guy definitely eats, is sliced bread.
Exactly.
Could you imagine, now that you're saying all of this, we're minority sponsor of whatever Atlanta team? What would there be the Atlanta hockey team that you would name it, sir?
That I would name it?
10. We've seen the Thrashers became the Jets. We've got the Falcons. We've got the Hawks. There's a very bird theme in Atlanta.
That is true. We got the Falcons. We got the Hawks. Oh,
right, as the hometown man is, pigeoning his way to a win. And instantly gets jumped by the system. Shout out, homie, in that's left adjacent to Cardona, and that's in the crowd. That is Gandalf KJ.
We had a stare down a little bit between Brian Myers and Matt Cardona.
Yeah, we're going to have a settlement of who gets who on the figures.
Yeah.
That'll be so when we get a commercial asked that of the chat can chime in and everything of what would you name the new, if there was an Atlanta hockey team that came back, what would you name it? And it doesn't have to be wrestler related, but the system staying in large and in charge.
Yeah. I feel like Matt Cardona is going to have to get someone else to help him if they're going to continue with this, whatever they're doing with this feud.
Right.
So now up next is the Champion Challenge.
No, and then they're going to have another match that they didn't announce. We don't even have a slide for and everything. As we're got about 40 minutes left. I went to commercial break. So again, folks out there, you yourself included, you live there, you're a residential neighborhood. NHL team shows up in Atlanta. What do you call it? The
I
Peaches?
wonder if they keep up with the theme of birds.
The Condors? I don't know what you can't say the Pelicans. That's New Orleans.
Right.
What other aviary theme can you go with? The Hawk. Well, no, the Hawks are already the basketball team.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
The Blue Jays is Toronto.
The
Robins.
The Robins, the Peacocks.
He rocks in the river all day long.
I feel like they made
the Vultures.
The Vultures.
LA Knight is moving to Raw. Allegedly, I've seen that. It's going down at Night of Champions Atlanta. No, Atlanta. Night of Champions is in
Saudi
Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
The Saturday Night Main Event is in Atlanta, and so is Evolution is a mystery.
And so is that other one, Great American Bash, all in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, shit. I for whatever reason, because everyone's used it as the counter booking to All In, I'm like, oh, so it's in Texas, right?
Yeah, and for some reason, everybody is saying the counter booking is Saturday Night Main Event. It's not. It's actually the Great American Bash. That's happening earlier in the day because I think All In starts at 3, and Great American Bash starts at like 2 or 2:30, somewhere in that area.
Well, the greatest counter booking is Texas is probably third best import or export of Beyonce there.
Yes, yeah, because Beyonce will be here for 4 nights straight that entire weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
She's Abe Lincoln. She's taking up a fortnight.
She's taking up a fortnight. Absolutely.
4 and girls who run the world, I guess. The beehive runs through.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Canaries, I don't know. Now we're going back to the names, but yes, we're in commercial break. So we've teased about it, talked about it. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll get time to get through it. How do you feel? How does the chat feel of Mercedes Moné, 6 champions, 6-time champion?
Someone
collector to the max. Thanos.
Someone on TikTok summed it up best with like a few short words, even though her video was very long. I watched the whole thing, but she was like, what is Mercedes doing for the women's division in AEW? And after that, it was like, there's no point of listening to the rest of the video because it's like, she's not doing anything. And that's what she was trying to explain in the video, that Mercedes is not doing anything for the women's division. It's all about her. And the scariest thing now for me is that I'm like 99% sure she's going to beat Toni Storm at All In. What does that literally do for the women's division after the fact?
If you beat Toni Storm, you're killing your best thing, because her whole Toni Storm's whole segment of playing the Snoop detective and everything. And yes, it's over the top. Yes, it's camp. I will take over the top in camp instead of the fucking eater of worlds, the eater of titles, the vacuum of charisma and talent that is, Mercedes Moné, of just hashtag lol win of Mercedes Moné to me is she's Angel Reese Shador Sanders of kind of talent of you're supposed to be good, kind of ain't doing a whole lot of and everything. Of if there's the definition of me bounds of I'm only catching the shots that I missed type of shit. That's Mercedes Moné at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like it's one of those questions where you ask yourself, when is enough, right? And I feel like having all those titles at this point is pointless. That's just me. I'm trying not to be like negative Nancy, but I'm just not a fan of it.
I'm very scared, like you said, of Toni Storm just falls victim to fucking Galactus out there. Because Toni Storm is the last beacon of hope, the last thing that they have good. We're already going down from a couple women's matches on a show to one match, a 5-minute match or so, we're already sliding downwards. So now if Mercedes just controls, she Thanos everything. We're Tony Stark and Captain America out here. We got to protect the the women's division of AEW.
And taking all of the title, all of the other titles away, if she wins at All In, she'll have both the AEW title. She'll have the world title, and she'll have the mid card TBS championship. It's just like what happens next if Tony Storm loses? And it's like the division already is surrounded by her. When she wins that title at All In, it's going to be all about her, and that's the sad part.
She will have managed to surpass Omega's run as belt collector and everything. Like, that's the thing, is AEW did the belt collector gimmick before, and it didn't go great. So now we're doubling down on this with someone who the fans are already rejecting. Like, as I've got Leon Slater coming out, so we are getting the championship challenge and everything. And I know you're about to pause, but I'll leave you with this. Of the fans were out there Becky Hoganing, just on the fact that she returned. Sasha won her 6th championship, and you get some fans that are championing it. Of which one's more the Hogan, I would say.
It's definitely Mercedes. 100%.
But she doesn't have creative control, brother. Doesn't work for me, brother.
Right, exactly. She has some type of control.
She got something. She got mind control, something control over Tony Khan out here. But
exactly. As I leave you guys with Nick for just a moment here.
Right. Anthony's got to go and make his appearance in the challenge match here. He's filling in. He's going to manage the babyface team like we talked about earlier. The challengers for the win in the main event of TNA 23. That's what they should have fucking called it. If they were going to do this as a live and call it TNA 23, call it the birthday bash, what have you. We got Elijah out here suited and booted. Make this be the special show and have tomorrow be, hey, this is your exclusive. If you get into the free app and everything, the free tier right now, along with everybody else that's paid for it, you get a preview. You can, I guess, take a week off from TNA. Everybody, the inside details that everybody don't know. I do think that they'll probably do the interesting. It's very network-esque if they do like Slamversary, basically their WrestleMania on the free platform, but every other pay-per-view you got to buy. So this is your taste. A little dab will do you. And then now you got to sign up here. But it's very interesting where they're going to go with this free tier, where all these baby faces are going to shake out here. I'm still wondering if Elijah doesn't turn heel on Joe Hendry at some point. More likely heel turn. Poll question. That's not a poll question. More likely heel turn. Elijah on Joe Hendry or Sami Zayn on Jey Uso, because that could be the final after Friday Night SmackDown. Vultures, we got that. Yes. Speaking of which, we'll be here. But yeah, that could literally be the final after Friday Night SmackDown, or be alluding to it. Hashtag alluding. I know MDB likes those. But I got Joe Hendry out here. Team Joe Hendry for the win. Kevin, what up? Denisha, tag team champion Anthony TK solved his issue. What issue? Well, he's got a few. Just Tony, stop getting in front of a fucking camera. How about that? Maybe just don't. You're at like the fucking Con Film Festival. Is everybody on Team Babyface hitting the Joe Hendry pose? You can tell the man's over when he's just got a fucking gesture and everyone knows who you're referencing. But yeah, Tony Khan, do more, say less. Words of wisdom to live by, I feel. And I know. See, I run counter to that and do more and say more. So, but I'm not Namor. What? Consider that the Thrasher is the state bird of Georgia. What the fuck is a Thrasher? Honestly, that sound. I only know like the Danbury Trashers and everything. A Thrasher to me sounds like someone you don't want to mess with. But yeah, Thrasher is the state bird of Georgia. Let's just revive the old team. That'd be interesting. Honestly, get the old school throwback. I mean, nostalgia play is in the past 3, 4 or so years of nostalgia play. Hey, what do you say? Maybe. WWE has announced returning to Philadelphia Wells Fargo Arena August 18th. Yes, I saw that they were announcing a lot of dates of they're going to show up in Jersey, in Philly. I think they're going kind of around that whole kind of Northeast area around summertime, which fits because they'll be there for SummerSlam. And we'll be here for all the slams during the summer. So be a friend. Tell a friend. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification because trust me, we got all the things popping. You never know, want to get caught slipping. Team Andrew for the win. But yes, again, as now I've got the Nemesis coming out. So let me know, folks, who you got in this match. I'll even settle it down to Team Babyface or Team Heel. Team Champ or Team No Champ. I vote for the Elijah team. Why aren't you guys covering the OKC versus Pacers? Because there's something more entertaining going on. It's called TNA Wrestling. Yeah, respectfully. Personally, I'm not super bought into the OKC Pacers final because I don't live in the Midwest. There was, what was it? I think it was one of the last kind of 4-hour, AW specials. We started to pay attention to it because it was at least something entertaining. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying my TNA experience. If you want to keep us updated, then by all means, appreciate you. Love you. Thank you. But yeah, I'll keep you updated on the wrestling. You keep us updated on the NBA. How about that? Let's go, Thunder. You got a like anyway. Well, thank you, Roddy. And the Thunder rolls. Denisha, the women's tag champions, are next. Big Nick that solved his issue when Mercedes went against Tony at All In. So you think that Mercedes conquers all and then just decides, I've had enough. I need more belts. She's Veruca Salt. I need tag belts now, Tony, that I must conquer and claim. I don't. That's the thing, is you're probably not wrong, Denisha. I hate that you might be right, respectfully. Like, I appreciate you. I love you. But I hate that you might be right of that. It might just become, again, Mercedes Moné is Thanos. She's Galactus. She conquers all. I'd be more surprised at a Mercedes Moné loss than a Mercedes Moné win. As I go to commercial break, after I had Trick and Moose stapping each other up. So this is very much leading up to your main event. And so let's make this a main event feel, folks, as I see 60 some odd people kicking it with us. Let's see if we can get to triple digits across the board. Let's see if we can get that triple digit followers on the stream and everything, or on Twitch and everything too as well, and on the stream all the way around, as we are the WFU, the voice of the voiceless, or the voice of the sensible people when it comes to talking about wrestling. Absolutely. And again, not to be undersold, 100%. This is one of the things I'm super excited for because I know nothing. I even knew nothing going into this. We got an exclusive interview with the French-Canadian Frankenstein, the former Quebecer, and don't worry, he didn't startle KJ showing up on a horse or anything like that, but we got PCO sitting down with KJ. We're getting more Canadian out here. But yes, we had an exclusive interview, and then we're going to hear from the Frankenstein himself how he feels about what's going on in wrestling in 2025 and beyond and all of that. We are back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown. We got 2 of the semifinals. We got half of the brackets filled out here when it comes to the king and the queen of the ring. And we've also got R-Truth versus John Cena. And does this potentially lead to R-Truth? Ron Killings is the one who brings John Cena back to the side of good, brings him back to the light, but also takes the title off him in the same fold. And if I can find it, absolutely, this is really 100% as Roddy. I see you, MDB. You're the man, Kev, restaurants. Not even joking. It's so fucking disgusting, disrespectful, that sickening. Restaurants. I don't know what you're popping off about, but I mean, I can wear a mask if I'm so disgusting and disfiguring. But yes, no, I joke, I kid, but I'm really glad and really excited for us to do this stream and everything. And I really hope everybody tunes in. If you can't make it live, watch it, replay it, drop a like already on it, put it just so it's in your folder and everything. But yeah, of something that's near and dear to all of our hearts. Number 69 in your playbooks, number 1 in your hearts. We're gonna be out here talking men's mental health and just having an open forum and an open dialogue and open discussion. That very much needs to happen. I like that it's happening. There's a lot of other prideful things going on this month, so always got to still try and make sure that men's mental health stands out and is talked about. And I like guys like Big Trouble, been friend of the channel, etc., that have spoken about it, tried to really amplify it. But yeah, don't miss this one. Much like the PCO interview, that you got 2 landmarks to be here for, and this is very much one of them. I'm really excited to talk about this, but we are underway with the action. As I got to find the slide and reaction. Yes, there we go. But let me know, folks, whether taking Team Babyface or Team Heel out here with the Champions Challenge. You missed my last message that explained. Well, we try. We do have the super chats, the super stickers as well, and at times it gets a bit hot and heavy, what have yous in here. So always try and make sure we don't miss anybody, but mea culpa. A lot of people are blaming Kyrie. Yeah, Damien, me and KJ very much talked about this, I think on Tuesday. You're really just blaming someone for being there. Like, I don't know what part she would have played or changed or anything, so you just kind of finding an easy scapegoat to blame a bit. Ronan, 23 years later, who would have thought TNA World Championship would be held by an active WWE superstar? That's impressive as shit, actually. Really thinking about it. They are the Harry Potter, the company that lived, and not only have they lived, they've thrived. They're out here thriving and vibing. We got a WWE, a prominent WWE developmental talent that's out here, TNA World Champion. Like, WWE is heavily involved in here. Now, do they buy TNA? We'll see. They did it with TNA, but we'll see. Manny, what up? Hello, how are you feeling? I'm feeling great. As we're 20 minutes or so left in the show, I feel of no real overrun I intend, I feel, but Elijah right now in control of Nick Nemeth. Very much Monday Night Raw, Sunday Night main event match happening. That's because their lives are miserable. Well, all right, Wrestle Rants. Maybe you need to rein it down, my guy. It was not Kyrie's fault. No, not at all. Again, it's a violent sport. It's combat. It is simulated fighting at minimum. So to sit there and try and act like it's ballet, hey, what do you say if no one gets hurt? Yeah. To sit there and point blame and to sit there and champion someone getting injured is arguably and honestly disgusting. As I got Steve Macklin and Zachary Wentz right now in the ring. Do we get a Pop Tandy blind tag and a Trey Miguel? Report from 1996, Brendan. I think that's probably Wrestling Proud out there on Twitch. But yes, report NHL to continue examining Oilers' LTR usage of Kane. Long-time injured reserve, so I don't. That's a question for KJ. He is the hockey expert. You're asking me TNA questions when I got the TNA expert on standby, and hockey questions when I got the hockey expert on standby. I cannot confirm nor deny about an LTRI or LTIR. But yeah, interesting. And I think it's also really interesting when this was a really good year for the NHL. I think this year did a really good bit of pulling people back into watching the NHL. As I got the Rascals back elbow, getting log splitter on Ryan Nemeth. WWE has announced another appearance by John Cena August 1st in Newark, New Jersey. I had vaguely seen this. I think it was like a SmackDown or something. But yeah, and again, I done said it. We're burning through these dates, so we're gonna get a bit more sparse here, I feel, with John Cena. So get used to it. As Trick and Zachary Wentz right now in the ring. As Trick's trying to get Wentz to tag in Joe Hendry. But yeah. Oh. Yeah, that was a thing. I don't want to can poo-poo and foo-foo, but that was the most choreographed looking shit I've seen this week. And I watched Lucha Libre. Yeah, that was the most like when I go left, you go right type shit. As Moose getting sent out the outside, and we're getting, double moonsaults on a Trick and Moose on the outside from the Rascals. So we're taking out the world champ and the X Division champ. Nick, who takes the tag titles from the Nemesis? That is a good question. Who is the nemesis of the Nemesis? Clearly they're setting up with this that it would be the Rascals, but spear from Moose, turning Trey Miguel inside out. 1, 2 as the faces break it up. It would be interesting to go that way of, does TNA have a slight bit of that issue of haven't really built up too many contenders? As I go in a commercial break, so they were dragging balls, pause. They were Moose was dragging. Oh Christ Almighty! Who's bringing one of the baby faces in the corner with Team Heels? Is we're in commercial break here. 51 paces, OKC 37. So it's looking like we might get a game 7. Is Halliburton is he playing? Nick be so lost in the chat, it's funny. Wrestler Rants, I'm only lost with your comments because I feel like you're answering in like 10-minute delays, but I try, boo-boo. I try. As 100%, we got the super chats here. If you want to help upgrade the programming and everything, we got the super chats, we got the memberships, we got the subscribers, everything. Be a friend, tell a friend. But yeah, no, I think I'm more just lost in the sauce with your shit, boss. Yeah, the Halle band is out there. The Halle band is playing. But NBA games are a game of runs. Yeah, very true. Christ, it's a fucking series of runs. Look at the fucking Knicks. Turn around, get to the best point they've been in 25 years and find a fucking coach. And can't find a new coach. But anyways, I digress. Yes, how are we feeling so far of the non-live TNA on the TNA Versary? We're popping the top on that Trick NA before we get the fully live and fully direct and full effect episode of TNA. How are you feeling tonight? And Big Nick and Anthony wrestling for life the best. We try. Be a friend, tell a friend. That's the bet again. And I know you've heard 1,000 other YouTubers and everything. Be a friend, tell a friend, like, subscribe, all of that. Yeah, make sure you hit the bell notification. But no, it really does. It means the world to us. We try and celebrate any victory, any new name in the chat. Trust me, because we try and engage with everybody in the chat. So any new name, any new subscriber, any new member, anything that's popping up with the channel, we try and celebrate and try and champion. So 100% be our champion and help spread the good gospel of the wrestling out there. Again, I'm trying to reach that lovely 10K and I'm still swearing by it. And he's not here to defend himself. So we reach 10K. Anthony's got to get a Goldberg tattoo and he's got to watch a marathon of the Austin Powers movies while he does it. Now let's see if that conjures him back up here. Oh, see, tie it all around. BS, no, 100% appreciate everybody that tunes in. 100%. We got TNA out here. We're back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown. And then Saturday, we got the interview with PCO. Hey, what do you know? And yeah, big things popping, little things stopping up. The something season never sleeps. Got that one. This episode of TNA needs more tests to be. Well, and about to get no more tests to be because we down to the final 14. As I be hiccuping. Yes, we're down in the final quarter hour here, folks, for TNA. Jobson, what up? LOG. Hiccups go away from me. In a 62-42 sweet 20-point game. All right. So now, see, so which is more entertaining? We got Moose right now taking it to Trey Miguel or a 20-point game in the NBA. Pascal Siakam. What is that going to be like a thing of like what former athlete's name could you yell out that would just be the most distracting chant ever? Pascal Siakam might be out there. 64-42. Oh God, we're starting to make me wonder if I might twist an arm or two and we're turning into an NBA stream for the final quarter or two. Thoughts on Hook saying he has been recovering from a concussion. That's the reason he's been off A&W TV. Well, a man who's a big fan of root beer never stays away from an A&W. But how you doing, sir?
I'm back. I'm back for the main event for TNA.
Yeah, well, are you here for that or are we here for NBA coverage?
It sounds like we're talking about the NBA and what's going on there.
The chat has been infiltrated in questioning of why we're not watching that game, but yeah, we've got the championship challenge right now where we've got, everybody just working over Trey Miguel right now.
Oh, so Trey Miguel basically on the losing effort right now for his team.
Right. Oh yeah, he's been just working. He's been worked over. He's been ridden hard and put up wet. Pause. As Luke Mbate Mutu. Yes, of Luau Deng. I guess if we're playing this counter game, I threw this out there while you were on your pause before. Can MTV get out of my mind? But yes, of NBA names that you could just yell out that are really unique. Like what NBA names would be super unique as a chant, or probably wrestler names? Because we had Pascal Siakam and we've had Rukemba Mute. Bam Adebayo is 100% a wrestler name. He is the son of Bam Bam Bigelow.
I'm trying to think of somebody. The only one that came to mind is Mutombo.
Dikembe Mutombo?
Yes.
Yeah, boy. No, not in my house. Christ, Shea Gildress Alexander. SGA? Hey, what do you say? Yeah.
SGA, I actually kind of like that.
Well, they were setting up the goddamn feud between Halliburton and Brunson. They're in the DLC for 2K25. Then in the Shack Attack. That's
Really?
your three NBA superstars. Is Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Brunson, and Shaquille the real deal O'Neal.
Wow, I did not know they were all in the DLC for WWE 2K25.
Yeah,
I played
it
that
would have
game
been
like a
cool
few
if they
times and then
released
stopped.
that when they were in the fucking semifinals and everyone was paying attention to that shit. That would have been really fucking cool. Marketing team. Sorry.
So we got Leon Slater and Moose.
The Battle of the X Divisions, Ultimate
Yeah.
X.
Which that's the
Bismack
first match.
Biombo.
That's the first match going down at Slamversary, or the first announced match, I should say. It's gonna be Moose versus Leon Slater for the X Division title.
There you go. There you go. Well, Damon, I think he asked me this question before, but you can answer it as well. Of who challenges, or I think he was saying of who beats the Nemesis for the tag titles.
Who beats the Nemesis for the tag team titles? I don't know. I would first initial thought would be First Class. The Rascals have already challenged the Nemesis. So you know what? I'm gonna say First Class. If Casey Navarro is up to, I know he's injured, is recovered to come back in time for Slammiversary.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, we've got Kazarian on commentary as well.
Oh, yeah, I know. Kazarian really wants that world title for some reason. So
yeah, he wants it. No one else wants to see him. He's the Chris. Is he the Chris Jericho of TNA? Just doesn't get the booking. Like he's what Chris Jericho should be versus what Chris Jericho is be.
I would say like maybe character and annoyance wise, yes, but he can definitely wrestle way better than Chris Jericho at his age. But yeah, at least like character wise, it's like we don't want to see you, Frankie.
Fair enough. I think I've unleashed the Kraken, but Damien's saying Abyss will be in the DLC. Yeah, well, Jasper Troy just doing his best version of Abyss, I feel. Black Hole Slam, cut off shirt, chains. He's Abyss without the mask.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I don't know if Jasper Troy has said anything, but maybe his inspiration was Abyss a little bit. Has anybody heard anything like that?
I don't think he said anything. I mean, he obviously won LFG. I mean, he's already sat there and slaughtered and taken on Oba, and is already starting to feud with Javon and everything we saw this week. But yeah, I released the Kraken of Zadrunas Ilgauskas, Kostas Kufus, Michael Beatrice, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Well, how about a Booby Gibson? Not to be confused with Booby Miles. Luke Rindauer, Udonis Haslam, Sabo Cephalosa. It's so crazy that I'm able to recognize and rattle off these names, but anyways,
and pronounce them, because I know I wouldn't be able to pronounce them.
Well, when you do every stream with KJ who can't pronounce names, you learn how to pronounce names real fucking fast. Love you, bro. Joe Kim Noah. Yeah, so all right, we'll move this. So in the comments after this stream, MDB, you can just fucking Google your hearts out. Let us know NBA names that either are incredible chance that should be chance or wrestling names. Make that a challenge. Professional athlete or professional wrestler.
I like that. Yeah, put that in the comments of the video once it's ended. I like that.
Do it. If not, harass Anthony on Twitter or on TikTok and do it in all of his videos.
So I think Joe Hendry was trying to come in, but the ref didn't see the tag. So they said, get out.
Right. Horn's great. Derek Rose. Well, we're all missing the obvious as Moose is in control of Leon Slater of Meta World Peace. Ron Artest, Meta World Peace. That is the most obvious low-hanging fruit there.
Yeah. Meta World Peace.
It's so funny that he changed his name to that shit after the Mouse in the Palace. Yeah. The man known for fighting changed his name to World Peace. Just saying.
Moose is trying to show Leon who he is tonight.
Do you think that sets a small package? 1, 2. Do you think though? So who do you have early predictions? Leon Slater, Moose.
Oh, I got Leon Slater. I'm wholeheartedly believing Leon Slater wins. And what a freaking clothesline. Turned that man inside out.
D-Cleaner.
Nice DDT, though. Nice DDT.
It was nice, and I halfway though, like he was set up for the powerbomb, but he just dropped him midway. Like the second he drops him like that, I know what's happening.
Yeah,
that's just super nitpicky. It's one of those like when you see somebody jump off the top rope and then jump into a top rope, nothing. Of like, what? Even if this landed, what were you going to accomplish?
Just like I'm glad you kind of brought that up. Seth Rollins does that like top rope move where he does a twist but lands on his feet. Like I've never seen him actually land that move. Like, what are you actually doing?
I'm Joe Henry, but yeah. How do you feel that this man of just a pose now?
He's just man,
and not and this isn't wrestling court. We're not just a pose, but Joe Hendry's over with just a pose.
Just a pose, just a song. I mean, Joe Hendry is just having the time of his life from like last summer till now. Like it's been crazy for Joe Hendry.
Right. And again, I see the names. Drop them in the chat after the stream, not live. I see your Zaza. Yeah, well, Zasha Gabor, and drop it in the chat after the stream. Thiago Splitter. That is a fucking hell of a name, though. I will at least go with that. Thiago Splitter. It sounds like a fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles villain.
The commentators are saying that Joe Hendry is trying to redeem himself from his greatest loss in his career. That's some large words right there.
Does he have to face a redeemer to be redeemed? Rusev Machka, Rusev Petra.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like Rusev, I don't know, maybe.
I am the redeemer.
He is. That is true. That is true.
I feel Joe, I think this is the best case to get Joe out of TNA, to still use him, to still keep him over. I don't think he wants the world title back because I don't think he's long for TNA, respectfully.
Oh, yeah. I think the next person that holds the title is definitely Mike Santana.
Oh, yeah. He's the next guy that they're going to crown their guy.
Yeah.
So WWE will sign him in 2026, 2027?
Maybe. Oh, that was a nice knee.
1, 2, break it up. Does Trick get the win here after he takes the L on NXT?
Maybe.
Well, Trick, I think, has done much better being involved in TNA. It has been a resurgence and a renewal for Trick.
Agreed. He's done really good with TNA and this run as TNA World Champ.
Well, and the way that they've sold it too.
Yeah.
We lost the title to a WWE guy of WWE owns our world championship of. Mm-hmm. We weren't even supposed to be here, and now the big corporation owns our world champion.
Right. And and how they've made Steve Macklin like he's the top, his championship is the top prize, which it is.
Well, Macklin now just hitting everyone with that top prize and that championship. Right. Oh, why you grab him by the throat and then grab him by the waist? Calf slam should have been a choke slam.
Into a tombstone?
Yeah. Yep.
Or the Heaven's Farewell, as he calls it. The challengers beat the champions.
The thing is still, though, to me, of Elijah's built like a brick shit house. can cut a promo. He can do the song singing and the guitar picking. He's a guy that's a license to print money, and I don't know respectfully why he's in TNA and not in WWE.
Wasn't he released from WWE?
That's why I'm questioning him. It was when he was out there, he was holding concerts on Bourbon Street when they went to WrestleMania 34 because he was out there song singing and guitar picking. And the man's built like a goddamn brick shithouse. Like he's the Swolverine out of everybody here.
Yeah.
And he's respectfully in TNA a mid-card guy. That's why I'm confused. He's the guy I think WWE.
Even if we backtrack it, he was about to sign with AEW. So
yeah, well, so was the Righteous, and
right.
That's a whole other thing too.
And he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna dip my toes over here in TNA." So I don't know. Whatever TNA said to him to get him to not go to AEW is, I kind of want to know what was said for that to happen.
Does AEW have the worst track record of putting talent on TV that doesn't sign with them, doesn't stay with them, what have you? I'm not even talking about people who are under contract initially, like Cody or Punk or anything. Stephanie Vacker, Elijah, the Righteous. That's just right off the top, and that's already a pretty big amount of people you had that you prominently featured, and were going to build, but didn't have under contract. Like that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Bold strategy.
Yeah, it's safe to put these people under contracts before you start showing them on television, right? That's just the practical move that needs to be done, because everybody was all but sold that he was going to AEW, and then I think he shows up on the live episode of TNA, and it's like, I thought you were going to AEW.
We were here when he showed up and lost our good marbles and everything like that, and now I'm waiting for the Righteous to start showing up because they're making moves. I still want them with Cross, but I digress. That does TNA the last taping for now, I guess, for 24 hours before we're live and back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow. But so, folks, let us know your rating out of 10 for TNA tonight. What is your rating, sir? And I expect we may not agree.
I think so. Last time we did this was last week. I upped it up from 7 to 8. I'm sticking at a 7. I'm at a cool 7 for tonight.
Okay. I know last week I think I was the one that was twisting arms and kata hajime and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But yeah, 6.5 I feel, and I'm saying this with all due respect, and I was entertained and this and that. It is not to me too distinguishable from last night's Grand Slam. It's in that same kind of rating sphere of 6.5, 6 3/4 if we need to Hogwarts this shit. But yeah, I don't even know if I could go with 7.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, I did like the Elegance match. I thought that was cool. The championship challenge was cool. The tag team match that was the Elegance match. I was about to say the tag team match with Masha, but that was the Elegance match. I did like the summit a little bit too. I think it dragged a little bit too long, but I like the summit with the Order 4. But there wasn't anything that just wowed tonight like last week did or Against All Odds. It was like it was like one of those to end the current tapings and let's start anew with the new tapings kind of episode.
That's the thing is I don't know if it was because I know that this one's taped and literally tomorrow I'm going to watch fresh off the tap TNA. Right. So this almost was already walking in at a deficit.
Just a tad bit. I think I don't think like it was a big deficit, but I think a lot of people are expecting some things to happen tomorrow for them to announce it so quickly. So I think the expectation for tomorrow is obviously, since it's live, going to be better than tonight. But they just had a few things that I liked tonight. Nothing wowed me at all. That's why I can't really give it anything higher than a 7. I'm bet 6.5 is fair. I've seen a couple of 6.5s in the chat too, so I feel like that's fair.
Fair. Well, I was going to say, on one hand, last week I was the one pulling up the TNA advocate. Now I'm the one dragging you down. But 7 out of 10. I score what I saw: a 7, 6.5 knee pads. Needed more? No, nothing never needs more. Tessa, I digress. My personal opinion. 7.5, bold. This is extra bold. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Nah, because if everything's a 10 out of 10, then what's an 11? The fuck are we doing?
We give Kevin a pass, though. We give Kevin a pass. If he feels like
I always take it as he's rating us, not the show. He's rating our show, not that show.
Well, that's cool too. If we're 10 out of 10, I like it.
Freaking we're Spinal Tap, motherfucker. These go to 11. 7.5, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10. So a little bit. The chat might be a little bit higher than we are.
Yeah.
Everyone just did the awkward stare. Just look down the hard cam. All right, who's higher? Nick, what up? Nick, I'm interested to see. I know you said LOL, but what is your rating? Oh, yeah, 7. So, all right. So, Nick's with you. I'm I guess a little sourpuss tonight. Pause. Yeah, I don't. The everything else around it might have taken away from it, what have you. If this was my only offering of TNA tonight or this week, maybe might have swayed a way or two of especially even just a half a point. But when I know I'm about to get a live show tomorrow night, and this is what you give me, this felt very taped when I know I'm about to get a live show.
That's fair. That's fair. I ain't got nothing against that.
Right. 7.5, 10 out of 10. What on TNA tomorrow? Well, I will, as we are going to be here for Friday Night SmackDown. We've got Sami Zayn versus Randy Orton in a men's King of the Ring semifinal. We've got Asuka versus Alexa Bliss in a women's Queen of the Ring semifinal. We've got R-Truth versus John Cena in a men's semifinal. I will rapid fire lastly and quickly. If you have any other points there, don't hesitate. But yes. So tomorrow on TNA, we're getting Santana versus AJ Francis in a street fight. The TNA Knockouts World Championship being defended between Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly. The Hardys will be in action. The Inspiration versus Victoria Crawford and Tessa Blanchard. 50 going on cancellation. Trey Miguel versus Nick Nemeth. And we will have the Elegance brand in action. I was going to say in attendance, but in action.
Yeah. And that's a pretty solid card for tomorrow. I'm excited, especially that street fight. I'm excited for that street fight.
Number one contender street fight?
It could potentially be. Yeah, it could have some implications on Slamversary and the world title. Yeah.
Now, what happens when we get to Slamversary and it's Mike Santana versus Trick? And this is the main event. We got stipulations aplenty. We got run-ins. We got interferences. We've had a Joe Hendry spot, maybe even an Elijah Guitar spot. And Trick Williams still wins. And then what?
Bound for Glory.
What? So then who's your next challenger? Bring out your next contender of if Mike Santana's been defeated now twice in a row.
Mike Santana doesn't do it.
Well, that's even part of it of, do you have Mike Santana lose 2 straight in a row?
I don't think they do that. I don't think TNA does that. I think if they run with the idea of the King of the Mountain match and Trick Williams loses, it makes Trick Williams still look strong without taking any type of pin or anything like that, because you have to hook the title, from my understanding, hook the title on the thing above the ladder to actually win the match. So Trick doesn't technically take a pinfall loss, so he still looks good. And then the TNA title is back in TNA possession. I think that's a safe route to go. Maybe not the best route, but a safe route. But if you do one-on-one with Mike Santana versus Trick Williams at Slammiversary, Mike Santana needs to win that, hands down. I don't think you can push that out any farther.
I know I tried to present a counter argument, but I agree with you on all that fold of Mike Santana needs to be the guy. And I really, really like the idea that you brought back the idea of King of the Mountain, because it's such a exclusive to TNA concept. Yeah. I mean, we don't need a reverse battle royal, but we can get a King of the Mountain. We don't need a feast or fired, but we can take a King of the Mountain.
Exactly. We definitely don't need that reverse battle royal.
And you just watch the match and rewind and it makes more sense somehow.
Right?
I was going to say, well, folks, hopefully we ain't like that. If you watch us and rewind and we make more sense. Yes. Folks, let us know your final ratings for tonight. Any sort of wrestling thoughts you need to get off your mind before we're back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown. And again, me and Anthony are going to be here. Of the Chapeau Show running 2 nights here. We got a 2-night stay out here. And we're going to definitely be watching TNA. I know Boston was trying to say you'd be watching TNA by yourself and all that because it's going to be live on Friday. But no.
That was MDB that actually said that.
He's going to have another band. What?
That was actually MDB that said that I was going to be watching TNA.
Oh, I was out here trying to cause issues. My apologies. I was trying to, shield for my man. But yeah, no. Absolutely, 100%. We watch and cover more live wrestling than anybody out there. Often imitated, never replicated, never duplicated. Sir, any thoughts, anything you want to get off your chest, say it with your chest before we go into the live era, the free era of TNA.
No, really no final thoughts. Just like Nick said, we'll be back here for SmackDown and TNA tomorrow and Saturday, the big interview with PCO. That's going down on Saturday. That's all I got. Those are my final words.
Yes, we're smashing walls like PCO smash championships, folks out here. But yes, 100%. Be a friend, tell a friend. Like, share, subscribe. Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is all. What are you talking about there, rest? You're able to put that full live footage.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Y'all have a good one.